So here's what confuses me about everything that's going on right now is how a story or an event which took place hundreds of miles away in an isolated incident can affect so many people in so many different ways. What's going on, guys? Great Disciple back with a video. It's a little different. I'm not going to put any gameplay in the background of this one. I've been thinking a lot about what has been going on over the last week or so in America. What with the shooting in Louisiana, followed by the one in Minnesota, and then the horror which took place in Dallas, which isn't too far from me. I mean, that's 15, 20 miles from where I live. And I'm watching with utter shock at the stupidity of people across the United States. You know, there's a verse in the Bible in the book of Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11. It says, "Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end." You know, one of the main things that I can suggest to everyone is just to calm down. Don't take it personal. Relax and just wait. Wait for the full story to come out. I mean, have you guys ever studied incompetence? There's actually 8 principles of incompetence. Let me give them to you, and I don't want to bore you with them. I'm just going to read them to you, and I got a couple other things I want to say. Number 1, incompetence is driven by intellectual sloth. That means the refusal to study a situation. Number 2, incompetence surrounds itself with incompetence. That means that fools will gather with fools. Number 3, incompetence is ethics impaired. That means you're driven by your emotions and not by, something that has roots. Number 4, incompetence abhors transparency and accountability. Number 5, incompetence does or says anything to defend itself. Number 6, incompetence always supports incompetence. Number 7, violence is the last refuge of incompetence. And the final one is, incompetence is nothing but consistent with itself. You guys can stop and think about that today. Now, what's going on out there? People talk about racism. The definition of racism, by the way, is the belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. And you got all these people screaming about racism across America. The blacks are saying things about the whites, specifically about cops, and then the whites are trying to defend themselves, and everybody's chiming in across everywhere. And then we have prejudice. Prejudice is a preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. My question to you is, how can the event of something taking place in Louisiana, which nobody actually still knows the entirety of the story because the investigation has not been concluded yet, but everybody is jumping to conclusions based on incompetence. I mean, you see a 30 to 40 second video on something that took place over the course of, I would say, at least 20 to 30 minutes. You see a little snippet, so everybody jumps to a conclusion on this. You have to let everything unfold before you put out your entire opinion, you guys. That's all I can really say to you is calm down. Don't be a fool about it. Relax, because people who are driven by emotions do really stupid things in this life. And I'll give you some statistics, and I don't know if you guys ever taken the time to look this up. Did you know, there's all these things in the news about Black Lives Matter and, cops killing black people. Did you know that cops killed nearly twice as many whites as blacks in 2015? And that's according to the data compiled by the Washington Post, that 50% of the victims of fatal police shootings were white, while 26% were black. That's interesting. In fact, more whites and Hispanics die from police homicide than blacks. So in essence, Black Lives Matter should really be hashtag whites and Hispanics lives matter, because more whites and Hispanics are killed by cops than blacks. I'm just being honest with you guys. And did you know this? Everybody knows about what happened in Ferguson, and if you don't, you're gonna have to look it up on your own, because I'm not gonna educate you on that right now. But despite the facts and the anti-police rhetoric of Black Lives Matters and their leftist sympathizers have resulted in what's called the Ferguson effect. Have you guys actually heard of this? You can study this, the Ferguson effect. Did you know that murders have spiked by 17% among the 50 biggest cities in the United States as a result of cops being more reluctant to police neighborhoods out of fear of being labeled as racist? There have been over twice as many cops victimized by fatal shootings in the first 3 months of 2016 versus 2015. It is absolutely crazy what is going on. There's a great verse, when it comes to respecting authority with the police. And that's in John chapter 15, verse 13. It says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends." Police officers wake up in the morning, black and white and Hispanic and Asian. All of them police officers wake up in the morning and they put a gun on and they go out and they do their job. And their job, they were hired. They are instructed to defend the innocent. That's what they do. And to see what happened in Dallas just absolutely blows my mind. I cannot believe that people are acting the way that they're acting. And to see things on YouTube, what people are saying, and then you read the news and you're just like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you guys? And don't take it from me. I read this thing that a pastor wrote named, I think his name is Leon Threet, is how you pronounce his name. He's a senior pastor of CFA Ministries in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's a black minister. He is a former police officer, and he has a son that's a cop. He says this. He says, "I think perhaps their intent may be wanting to have a positive change, as in the hashtag Black Lives Matter. But I think the methodology is dividing the community. When we say Black Lives Matter, we may be overemphasizing the importance of one over the other, and it's my experience that our strength comes from our ability to work together." See, the goal of humanity is equality, right? We should not, when we see a man, we should not see a white man, we should not see a black man, we should see a man. I love this verse. In Galatians chapter 3, verse 28, it says that there is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Or here's another great verse. Colossians 3, 9 through 11. "Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. Here, there is not Greek and Jew. There is neither circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave free, but Christ is all and in all." You guys, my advice to you is this, is to understand that you've got to let these stories unfold. You've got to take a step back, realize that what's going on in America does not affect just you. And just pray about it. Calm down. All lives matter. And police are here to protect and to serve. And if there was a bad cop who made a horrific mistake and it was filmed, that does not give us then the right to go out and hurt each other and to speak hate to one another. It doesn't give us the right. You guys leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this. I'll talk to you guys soon.